afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Super Kicking It with Stephen and Greg, your favorite host right here, the Stephen A. 1181, the Greg one over there, ready to give you all the latest and greatest in WWE, AEW, and even NXT this week. Even though last night we saw that Impact Wrestling will be going back to their original name, Greg. So how about that? They're going to be back to TNA next year. So we shall see what that means. A whole bunch of nothing. But anyways, so how are you doing today? Your Chargers are rocking today. My Colts are down 7-0 already. So that's fun.
Jeez.
But we got Pacers season starting off fresh this Wednesday. We got Suns season starting, so we got NBA back. It is a good time to be a sports fan.
Absolutely. I'm about to fire up a couple fantasy basketball teams after we finish just to get in the spirit of things. Excited for my Suns, see how they're going to kill it this year, and hope to get that chip.
High expectations.
And high expectations. Absolutely. We've got Durant, Booker, brought in Bradley Beal, and been wheeling and dealing all off season. Just had another blockbuster trade a few weeks ago, and so they're loading up to win now, not win next year, not win 2-3 years, win now. So this is going to be the most interesting Suns season probably in their whole history. So I'm going to be super tuned in, and hopefully they can deliver, at least reach the finals, and this time get over the hump. We made the finals a couple years ago and fell short, but this is where we should clear the hurdle. So
yeah, and we'll see. I guess it'd be fun. It'd be interesting if they won it after Chris Paul is gone, to the Warriors. So just don't know if he'll ever get his championship, but that's kind of the last hurdle for him. Probably one of the better players to not win a championship yet. So, we shall see. But as far as my Pacers, a lot of people send us in the play-in game. So I think that would be fine for this year. Trying to, just slow, not slowly, but showing that you're ready to contend in some ways. I mean, last year we were right up there for most, probably until about December. Then Halliburton gets hurt and derailed a lot of things, kind of slowed us down. So hopefully Halliburton can stay healthy. You bring in Bruce Brown Jr. from the Nuggets, which is a really good pickup. You got Matherin on another, third year. You got some good rookies coming in and solid players coming. Miles Turner, year 9, I believe it is, all in a Pacers uniform, which is cool to see. Nowadays it's very hard to find players are going to stick around, Greg. So, hopefully Miles Turner can kind of keep his time here. But I'm excited for it. We're going to go opening night and have some fun with it. So, but we are here today to talk up some news and notes. So I kind of left this page blank, Greg, because I really didn't see a bunch of news for WWE wise. It's kind of a quiet week or so. Is there anything that maybe we missed that you want to get caught up on, maybe from last week, or is there anything that maybe caught your eye, Greg? If not, we could just go right into Raw, as there was plenty of action to talk up.
I don't know if we gave enough love to the Wrestle Dream card. How well that show went over. I thought every match on that card was, stood well on its own. Starting with Danielson and Strickland, or not Danielson, but Strickland and Hangman.
Yeah.
And those two having an awesome match, and you see that's building to something. Both of them still have each other's names in their mouths, and they're getting involved with each other still. So you see it's building towards something. But all those matches were great. I love that match with Daniel Bryan, or there you go. I'm still calling Daniel Bryan, but Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. Amazing match. Just they talked about being a technical wrestler, and you can see the difference between a match they had and a match that any other match that you watch. It was super technical, and while it could be, viewed as boring when you put that technical label in it, those two brought it, and you could see like how good they really are. I mean, just trained from the minute they get walked to right now, and
Oh, yeah.
it just looked amazing. So just super impressed with Wrestle Dream, and they've done a pretty good, decent job of building off of that card. So, although we gave enough love to Wrestle Dream last show, but I wanted to give them a little more props now.
Oh, yeah. Getting into Raw, we had a title change. So we did start off the night, Sami Zayn coming out to the right music and talking up, Kevin Owens going away. Jey Uso helps Sami Zayn fight off the Judgment Day. But, Greg, in the end of the night, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso lose the tag team championship. Jimmy was involved, of course. But what do we think about the title change? There's still legs to Judgment Day, so I see why you change it back. Like some people brought up, well, at least we got the quick stare down between Cody and Roman when they were tag team champions, so maybe that was the reasoning behind that. Just very interesting timing that you're already giving the titles right back to Finn and Damien, especially when we're looking at, I think as SmackDown, it's maybe more going to be towards Team Raw versus Team SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So we might not even get, War Games match like we've been anticipating. Eventually, we got to move on from Judgment Day, Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso, though, right?
You'd think, but
Still
if
legs
it's
on
about, yeah, there's still legs on it. It's about putting the sides together. Uh, you know, it's best when you have that build up and people getting added to the mix slowly instead of the Adam Pierce going, okay, the five is going to be A, B, C, D, E.
Yeah, that's true.
When it grows organically and people are just, getting involved in the mix naturally, through their matches or somebody interfering in somebody else's matches. Now they have beef, and when it's done that way, it's so much better,
Yeah.
and it connects the dots for us. Other than just having five people thrown together, and it's like, what's the purpose of this? We don't care. So it is a better path, and it is kind of organically putting all the pieces together in the pie. So um, I think the whole situation with Jay and Cody and the Judgment Day and these little temporary alliances and things is going to play out a little bit longer. And the faces are getting added to the mix slowly too. And even if it's going to end up being with a, solid 5 versus 5. And we know why all 10 people are involved in the mix. So I think it's a slow burn, but it's worth it.
Well, we're almost probably going to have a couple Judgment Day or Judgment Day member on Team Raw, right? I think that's what's going to be interesting to kind of see, who do they end up putting on there, just because they're all such big time players. So that'll be interesting to see there. What about Shinsuke Nakamura defeating Ricochet in a Falls Count Anywhere? I would have loved to see Ricochet get the upset. I just Nakamura. I don't think he needed the win right now. He was already in the world heavyweight title picture, Greg. So it really doesn't make much sense for him to keep winning if it doesn't mean anything. So I feel like Ricochet might beat him in a wrestling match, so maybe that's a way to go out that. But not a bad Falls Count Anywhere. We had a lot of action with it. Nakamura bringing the nunchucks back, so action everywhere, and really solid match. But I don't think the right winner was there. What about you?
I agree. It was a solid match. Ricochet and Nakamura was uh, excellent for what it was. And you feel about this match the way I feel like Nakamura and Rollins
Yeah.
is that I wanted Nakamura to win the title.
Yeah.
And then you had the scenario of Seth climbing his way back and overcoming his injury and overcoming Nakamura, who had outthought him on every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like you said last week, Nakamura is moving down, but this is a step up for Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's bringing him up it's leveling him up.
Yeah.
So I get it. But we've got him elevated, and we're bringing down Nakamura just a bit to that level right under. It'd be the co-main event kind of scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have any problem with the winner. Of course, I'm a Ricochet guy. I love for Ricochet to win anytime, but it didn't hurt him in my view, even though he lost the match.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If the feud keeps going, we'll see who ultimately wins the war. But Piper Niven defeating Natalia. We're kind of seeing Natalia and Tegan Knox maybe team up, maybe get the next tag team title shot. Nothing much there. What about
waiting to see if Natalia is going to turn heel again, because it seems like she's been a little too goody-goody, and you're just waiting for her to put a knife in somebody else's back. Yeah. That's what it smells like to me.
Probably be Tegan, because I think they want to build up Tegan as a legit face, so I'm fine with that. But
yeah, something smells funny with Natalia for me. So
yeah, it always does. So she kind of goes back and forth a lot, though. Anyway. What about the war of words between Seth and Drew? I thought really good points made by both guys, especially Drew saying, "Hey, I got a catchy theme song that I could bring back, but I don't need that crutch." So that was pretty interesting, even though we've seen Seth doesn't necessarily need the song either. I mean, Seth is good on his own. So, it's still probably going to be Seth to win, and then maybe a cash-in attempt, but I think it's going to be a really solid match, and we keep seeing the heel turn of Drew. So, and like most people have said, Drew McIntyre's probably had the best kind of story arc lately. He's got some legit beef to why he's becoming the way he is, which is not always the case, Greg. Like we brought up with Natalia, she just kind of turns because the wind blows. So,
right.
A Big Show back in the day. So it's nice to see Drew have legit, logistics put behind why he's turning the way he is, and it's probably needed. So, but I thought a really solid, war of words between the two. What about yourself?
Yeah, I agree. It was a great promo and some good digs at each other, especially that one. Talking about bringing back, I could bring back the catchy music and all that stuff, and they got at each other. So it's all factual points. It's not just bluster and I'm so much greater than you, but these two, um, it's like you're watching a presidential debate. Well, I'm better because of this, and no, I'm better because of this, and they're on that level. They're spitting fat at each other and just let them know why they're the better man. So those are the best promos in my opinion.
Not made up stuff.
Right. So and we can recall these things that you're talking about. So it makes it even better. So I loved it.
And like Drew calling back, I need to win the big one somewhere, and I think that's a really good case to be made, because we just keep seeing him not fail necessarily. I mean, he did win against Brock, but then he loses the Roman at Clash of the Castles. So, but then Seth goes right back. Well, stop making excuses. Just finish the job. So I would love to see Drew. I like the Seth run, but I also think it sucks because Drew probably needs that title. So it's a weird. It's like the Nakamura stuff. We're just kind of seeing Seth, getting these wins, by the skin of his teeth almost. And, when somebody finally does beat him, it'll mean more. But Ludwig Kaiser picked up a win. Let's face it, Greg, this is all about trying to get us to DIY versus Imperium, which is the bigger story. Ciampa was out this week, so hopefully we'll get them all back next week. let's get into all the women. I guess we're gonna throw all the women at Rhea Ripley, aren't we? 'Cause now Zoe Stark showed up. I mean, it's kind of funny because Zoe doesn't necessarily look like she fits in with this, kind of Hoss group, Greg, but she is pretty strong and powerful, so it can work. But we saw her come back, and now we're getting what Fatal Five Way, I believe it is, for Rhea against Raquel, against Nia, Shayna, and now you have Zoe Stark. So, what do we think about Rhea just trying to fight every woman right now in a match?
Well, why not? I mean, you could have a tournament, but that would be kind
Why
of
do
a
that? Just do one match.
pointless. They're already fighting each other every week as it is, so
Yeah,
there's no point in the tournament. So, um, a five-way, I get it. I hope they added another wrinkle to it, make it a ladder match, or make
yeah.
it um, you know, lights out for a five-way is not good enough, or
Could do
won't work.
elimination,
But
and I guess
elimination match would be
I
great.
like the
Yeah,
elimination. I know sometimes you do the quick ones, but still, then you can almost have a one-on-one match with the last offshoot that, or if some you can offshoot feuds. Maybe somebody pins somebody quickly, and well, there's a feud for you. So
yeah.
I kind of feel like they're just going to stick with the Fatal Five Way. Uh, I mean, are we going to bet against Rhea in that, Craig? Do you take the
No.
field or Rhea?
Um, I think this is coming down to Rhea and Naya for
Yeah,
sure,
that's what it seems like.
and it'd be interesting. If I had to put money on it right this moment, I'd say Rhea. But
Yeah,
if Naya won, it'd definitely not be surprised because she does got back. She's got this monster, heel heat on her. She's been squashing everybody, to use her words, and it's a way to.
I guess she is the betting favorite for the Royal Rumble, is what I'm seeing. Her and
Oh, really?
Raquel.
Interesting. But
I don't know if
you
I
know,
buy either one of those. I mean, I've gone for Raquel, Greg, but I'm probably starting to reel back on that. I don't think I mean, it's betting odds, so it doesn't necessarily mean internally who they're going for, but I don't
right?
think I buy a lot into Naya winning a Royal Rumble because I don't think
Yeah.
she needs it at all.
No, she doesn't. She's proven her worth. We know what she can do.
She could
Um,
win a number one contenders match easily or elimination chamber,
yeah.
and you give it to somebody else. Speaking of kind of building their brand, what about Big Bronson Reed? Did he show that he deserves higher up on the card with the match against Gunther, Greg? And Gunther's carrying that title to WrestleMania, isn't he?
Abs- yes to both questions.
At this rate,
Bronson is, that was a banger of a match.
yeah.
He showed he could hang with Gunther,
Hmm.
and I've loved him since NXT, and I want to see him shine, and
He
he's
needed
doing it.
that too. He hasn't had a match. He's had good moments, but not like delivered full out in the match yet.
Right,
So,
right. And this is, we got that. We got the 15 minutes of awesomeness out of both of these guys, and Bronson showed he could be in the ring there and deliver with Gunther, who's been killing it since the day he walked in.
yeah.
So big love to Bronson, and he deserves his spot. So I think you keep him there, and he's earned it. And Gunther is definitely taking that title to WrestleMania, and we're gonna find another Hoss fight. So um, I have a
Curious.
guy in mind. I hope works, but
Who is it?
hey, one of my other favorite dude, man, Mr. Brock Lesnar.
Uh,
You're talking about
we don't want
if
Brock.
anybody.
We don't want Brock taking the title off, though, right?
No, and it's surprising. It coming from me, and sure, that's a surprising
That's
thing.
what we did. And that's the downfall. I mean, I know the Rock and Roman doesn't need a title. I don't know if Gunther and Brock needs a title, does it?
No, it doesn't. But it's the whole thing of um, Brock putting over Gunther.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
and the only thing that put him on a higher level than he already is beating a beast like Brock Lesnar.
If you have Brock cost Gunther the title, I don't mind that aspect.
True, I can
I
see
mean,
that.
at this rate, I know it probably demeans the winners, but also it builds into a Gunther Brock without the title
Hmm.
if we wanted to go that route, or maybe Brock eliminates Gunther at Royal Rumble or something like that.
Right, but
So
who wouldn't pay to see that as a main
yeah,
event
because
by
we talked
itself?
about that before. Brock and Gunther should be a match, and I think Gunther really wants to work with him. Now it's just on Brock's end. We haven't seen
Yeah,
Brock in a while, but
who's left that can really put Gunther on a higher plateau?
yeah, that's
That list is small. Brock, Roman, um, and
it.
aside from that, I don't know who else you're going
Yeah,
to throw into the
yeah,
mix.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. So, and then we did talk up Finn and Damien. Any last thoughts on them getting the titles back? Do you think it was too quick? Did we mention
No,
that?
no. Number one, I think Sammy and Kevin held it very long or
Yeah,
long enough.
yeah.
But they capitalized on the moment, and they had their crescendo with the 3 count at WrestleMania,
Mhm.
and then it all started going downhill because they started getting injured,
Yeah,
and
just weird booking.
their whole thing was just um, just dwindling as it was. So it was time for them to hand the straps over.
Mhm.
Judgment Day was a much harder thing, and now you're getting to stir a bunch of pots with having it pass from Judgment Day back to Judgment Day, and then adding more people, more fuel to the fire. So
Mhm.
I don't have a problem with it. And now we've furthered the Uso versus Uso angle also
Mhm.
that we're
Especially with
looking for at
SmackDown.
WrestleMania. So now we have Jimmy costing Jay the tag team championships, and that's easy beef right there, and more stuff to build on. So
Looks like I
let's see what they're doing.
think we're going to get a match between the two sooner rather than later, Greg. Maybe the crescendo's at WrestleMania somehow.
I
Just
mean,
because both have been interfering with each other lately.
right. And the interference aspect can keep continuing.
That's true.
Maybe they do have an individual match, but that gets interfered with by
That's true.
you know whomever,
Solo.
and we don't get a clear winner. And then you have Usos against each other in a cage match or in a strap match or something that guarantees it's going to be 1-on-1.
We need them one-on-one at Mania, I think. So whatever you can
Yeah,
make that work. Some NXT stuff. Chase U won. They finally won something kind of big, Greg. So good for them. They're probably going to lose to the family. Any thoughts on Chase U winning?
man,
Yeah. A lot of women
it
time.
is what
I
it
mean, look
is.
at look at these results. So we had Carmen defeating Jada Parker. So now Carmen is going to move on to this NXT Women's Breakout. You had Ariana Grace pick up a win, who is still crazy to think that she is she's Santino Marella's daughter, Greg. I never will get over that fact that is his daughter. So
I didn't know
the
Ariana Grace's.
second generation superstar. So there you go.
Okay.
Lyra picked up a win. Shotzi picked up a win. Ultimately, Greg, it was all about Carmelo Hayes, so he picked up a huge win. And this should be the last match between him and Dragunov, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And we get ready to bring up Carmelo. Um, maybe after Survivor Series or
Mm-hmm.
um, right before we get to the end of the year,
Yeah.
and
I want to see him
we're
involved in
ready to.
WrestleMania on the main roster,
Yeah,
even
but
if
he's
it's
ready to
a
hit the ground running January 1st. And so I
yeah.
don't know if they're going to do a January 1st pay-per-view like they've been doing the past couple of years, but
Yeah, I can't remember if we had that or not. I'll have to check. Like we had the day. Well, we only had day one. I guess it was day one. It was only one time, but I think between him and Braun, those are the two names. Like, yeah, they should be up soon. So, any thoughts on any of the women matches?
No, there were
Okay.
matches.
Yeah.
Nobody's really standing out. Is my point.
Yeah, a lot of
Nobody's.
them are looking. Yeah. So.
It all looks like a lot of the same thing.
Um, maybe we'll start at the end as well for SmackDown because look who showed back up, Greg, Bianca. Will we? Are we still going to rule out a heel turn?
No, especially seeing how our, hubby and the homies are turning heel too.
Yeah.
And Bianca needs it. She needs a little something different because
Yeah.
um, the act is stale.
Mhm.
We've seen her coming down and dancing and twirling the hair, and we need to see that mean streak come out. So um, I want to see heel Bianca because there's too many people, too many faces right now. Charlotte's still, a tweener, but she's more of a face.
Yeah.
Bianca's a face. Um, Rhea
Asuka.
being in a bad,
Who
um,
knows what Asuka is?
right? She's definitely
She's
not a
more
heel.
face because she tends to beat up on heels. So.
True, and it's time, to pull out the hashtag. It's time to do it. Justice for Asuka
I
because
guess Jade is going to be the
it,
one, which
and
and that could be why you're maybe keeping Bianca as a face.
true. I like, Jay's better or great as a heel.
Yeah.
Um, we haven't seen her as a baby face, so you wonder if that's the something that's curious for them to do.
Hmm.
But
And I don't feel like we've seen Bianca. Some people have brought up Bianca was kind of heelish in NXT, but I don't remember much of a heel run in NXT. So
at the very beginning, she
I guess
was more of a
more of it,
heel,
yeah, like
but I don't
arrogant.
think it lasted very long.
Yeah, because I think the crowd was really buying into her.
Yeah,
What about the LA Knight Paul Heyman stuff? That was pretty well done. Um, I mean, we all could see what's happening, Greg, but this is still a big moment for LA Knight because I bet this is going to be the main event, right, for Crown Jewel. So
yeah.
this is going to be a huge spotlight for LA Knight to really deliver and see where he could go after that. What do you think about the little words dug at Paul Heyman and LA Knight there?
Loved it, loved it, and he's getting more comfortable. I mentioned last week that given the amount of time and air uh, camera time that he's getting, this is unlike anywhere else he's ever been as far as the volume, how much
Yeah,
time he's getting, and how big he's blown up.
and with the
He,
people.
yeah, and he was big in impact, but that's impact.
Mhm.
We're talking about big fish in a small pond. Now you're talking about big fish in the biggest pond. You're talking about big fish in the ocean,
Mhm.
and now your exposure, your time, your um, is at the top is max,
Yeah.
um, and that's what we want. That's what they all work for, and now he's here, and you can see it got him a little bit in some of his promos, and I think he was a little too excited, and he step on some of his words and everything, but you can tell he's getting more comfortable. At least I can tell he's getting more comfortable
Oh
as
yeah.
a longtime fan of his, and he's settling in, and these promos are looking better, and he's taking his time and he's doing his thing, and he's looking great doing it. So nobody's happier than I am that he's got that main event spot. Um, I'm still against the crown jewel, but yeah, I know the Saudis are giving us WWE a boatload of all the bags of money to have an event over there. So I get it. I don't have to like it. Um,
Well, and there's also the
artists,
aspect of trying to make Saudi Arabia we don't really do a lot of bad stuff, but there's a lot of not that most countries are clean as a whistle, Greg, but we've heard about some of the stuff that happens in the Middle East. So this
right?
is a sports washing, as they call it. You know, we're we're going to bring soccer here. We're going to be the Love Golf Tour here, just to distract the idea that there's definitely some shadiness that's happening. We can never forget that a journalist was beheaded there, Greg. So
Exactly.
the crown jewel does feel icky, as they say. So
I know, and if I was talent, I would be really wary about going into the Middle East right now. I know
yeah, oh yeah,
they're not far from Israel and where all
yep,
the fighting is going
the
on. The
world,
war
yeah,
has just started, so I'd be real. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for going over there. Um, so these guys are professionals. They're going to go and they're going to do the thing, and hopefully nothing from over there is going to affect where they are.
oh
So, but still, if somebody asked me today if you want to take a trip over to the Middle East, I'd be like, hell to the no. Um, but
yeah. Well,
I have no doubt they're going to put on a great show, and
my mom had a
I just want.
hairdresser that was going to get married in Israel last weekend, Greg. So
Oh
she did
wow,
not. They did not make that trip,
yeah.
obviously. So,
I just hope the Saudis are with the program as far as how big LA Night is over here,
yeah,
and he gets that same treatment over there that he does over here because it may ring a little false over there if it's not, because we know how great he is over
yeah.
here, but is he
Yeah, I was
translating
gonna
over
say
there?
this might be the first time international we'll see how a crowd really reacts to it. So Montez picked up a win, Greg, over Santos Escobar. We're just continuing that little feud between Lashley's, whatever we're calling them, Lashley's crew and LWO. John Cena's solo, Greg. We're gonna get them one on one pretty soon, aren't we?
Yep, yep, it's going to happen.
Makes
Um,
you think of good old Amaga and John Cena back in the day.
Impressed with the promo. Never think that Cena was going to retire. No,
But there was
but
there's some real feelings behind that. You could tell.
oh yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, it's going to be a really good one, and I think that bringing up the fact that I haven't won a match in 2,000 days. It's like
Yeah, that's crazy. Like I hadn't even
I
fought
like
like
that. So
since 2018, which is weird. I mean, you would have thought he'd pick up a TV win, like even or did he say singles match? Because I know he's won tag team matches.
yeah, he's at singles win.
Single. Okay. But don't worry, Greg. We did get the other official retirement announcement from some longtime
Yes,
wrestlers. So
finally.
it'll be
Yeah,
interesting to
right.
see if you could book John Cena's final match. Do you have an idea who you want it to be against?
Uh,
I mean, I feel like Orton is the easy answer, but
yeah, it would be. I don't know. I think Roman would be a great answer because they have a ton of history.
yeah.
Um, so he'd be a natural, and
I wonder if there's somebody who's seen as never faced, and that would be cool. Like if he could get a like a first time ever match against somebody. But yep. And well, I guess, and the big thing will be, how do you think Cena will be remembered? Do you think we'll think more about the latter part of his run more than the Super Cena time, just because of all the goodwill he's kind of earned lately?
well, I only speak for me. Is that
Yeah.
I remember his run was very, very dominant,
Oh yeah.
and, he was the new Austin. I mean, it once we pivoted away from Attitude Era into the Ruthless Aggression era, that Cena was the face of it. No matter who else was standing next to him, it was the Cena era,
Yeah.
um, and that was it. It was all about Super Cena, and I was impressed with it. Part of me liked it, and part of me didn't like it.
Won a lot of matches that he probably didn't need to win though at times.
Agreed, agreed.
Like he could
Uh,
have put over Nexus more, and he's even been on record as saying, yeah, that he probably should have fought for that. So
True.
maybe Wade Barrett could come out of retirement and get a win. Cena gave the win to Bray, Greg, so maybe Wade Barrett could get a win over Cena, on his way out. But it'll be
Definitely
interesting.
more hits than misses with the Cena era, though. So.
Oh, of course, yeah. And that's because I do think, that Super Cena era. It's not long gone, but I do think he's earned a goodwill. Like he's done
Sure.
a lot more, put over guys, just come out and done the right thing and shown he can do it. So his retirement or his final days will be that'll be something, that will be the end of an era as well. So like him, Orton, if Lesnar ever finally calls it, when he calls it a career. So we've already lost Batista. So those 4 pillars of the OVW days, Greg, when they're all done, that would be a really an interesting day to kind of see. So, Logan Paul, Rey Mysterio set to go. I'm calling it now, Greg. I think Logan Paul gets that U.S. title, and I'm guess what? I'm kind of okay with it.
What?
I know.
You want more Logan Paul?
I just think I don't want more Logan Paul, but I know how WWE is, and Logan Paul on his podcast with the U.S. title, him maybe going to a boxing match with the U.S. title, him going to media stuff. That's out there.
Kind of like Tyrus on CNBC with whatever the title belt for whatever organization he's with right now.
Yeah,
I saw him on TV the other day.
But I also want somebody to beat Logan Paul for it. Like that could be Escobar's way to get the title, off of him. So
right.
I have my ickiness about it, Greg, but I also see why Logan Paul might beat Rey Mysterio, and I don't think I'd be against it. What about yourself?
I would hate it. It's Rey. I like him with the title, but I don't love him with the title.
Yeah.
I think one of the young, hungry go-hards should have it.
Yeah.
But he's a legend, and one more run with the championship, why not? But I don't want Logan Paul to do it because I don't want more Logan Paul on my TV. I get the influence side of it and
don't even
getting
know
the
if we see more
views.
of him on TV. He might be like Roman Reigns and just show up when he needs to, which would also demean the U.S. title probably.
That's exactly it. We need the guy who's going to be there week in, week out, and giving that title some clout. And we know Logan Paul's not going to be the guy to do that.
Yeah, and I can understand that too. Austin Theory, Grayson Waller picked up a win. Obviously, we see Dragon Lee is officially SmackDown as he eats the L with Cameron Grimes, Greg.
Hey, Cameron Grimes sighting.
How about that? Yeah. Hard to believe Cameron Grimes still had the quickest win, beat Baron Corbin, and then he was gone. So, we shall see if they ever get back on the Cameron Grimes train, but it doesn't look like anytime soon. So. Quick Colts update: we're up 14-7 in the first quarter. So there you go.
Wow.
It was 7-0, like 50-some seconds into the game. Then the Colts tied it up, and then they had Gardner Minshew with the TD run, Greg. So maybe we don't need Anthony Rittenhouse. Not even gonna entertain that route. So that's what I was afraid of. The whole, Anthony Richardson's going to be out now. Minshew could carry them somewhere, but it's still about the the future. So, Minshew can give us the Super Bowl and everything, Greg, and I still think Anthony Richardson would be starting quarterback. So there you go.
Hey, there you go. It's nice when you see that lead up there. So
yeah, but and Deshaun Watson actually hit it says he hit the turf hard on the shoulder, which is another turf injury possibly, Greg. So yeah, starting to wonder about that turf because that's that's what hurt Richardson and whatnot. So, and Rogers didn't he? I thought he landed wrong on turf. So,
True.
yeah, that might be a bigger news story than we're thinking. So, well, let's do a quick elite performance, then we'll get into Battle of the Belts, get into some collision talk, and some AW talk. Plenty of happenings there. So we got to figure out who this devil is. Even though I think we both have our ideas about who it could be. So let's get some elite performance talk and then get right into AW. So, Battle of the Belts happened last night. Battle of the Belts 8, Greg. These Battle of the Belts, they're losing. Yeah, they're losing their luster. Orange Cassidy won,
Yeah.
Samoa Joe won, Chris Statlander won, and the Acclaimed won. That's our. Is that a good enough recap, Greg?
Yep, pretty much. It's like none of these matches were, aside from the Orange Cassidy match, everything else sucked, in my opinion.
He's got to beat, and he's got to get past Moxley, and then we'll see where. Do we think Moxley gets the title right back, Greg? Now that they know he's like healthy and all that.
No, I think that they're building up to a war between Orange and Mox, and Mox is like the last hurdle for Orange, the guy he can't beat. So I think they're going to build up on that, and then he's going to beat him.
And then technically they'd be 1-1, but I'm okay with Orange not getting another shot. So, what else? So let's get into some Dynamite, then we can finish up with Rampage and Collision and all that good stuff. But Dynamite, Jay White still keeps picking up wins. Greg, him and MJF are on a collision course, full gear. Wardlow wants to go after him as well. You got Samoa Joe. Do you like the multiple targets on MJF's back right now, Greg? And then whoever this devil character is, I feel like that's got to be somebody who wants wants MJF as well. What do we think about all the multiple angles for MJF right now?
Yeah, that's how it should be. You're the champ. Everybody's gunning for you. So, everybody who gets a win is going to call you out. So, that's the way of the world in any combat sport. So, I like it. It makes sense. And it's just a matter of, how do you sort it out? And Jay White's up next. Great match with him and Pentagon. And my only issue with it was that, who's going to win going in because, you got to feed the fire for White and MJF. So at least they involved the shenanigans with him and he couldn't beat Pentagon clean because you know what a Pentagon mark I am. But still, those two had a great match. And it just makes sense that, everybody and their mom is going to be, gunning for MJF's belt and calling him out for it.
Sheeta picked up a win. She's got Ruby Soho next, Greg. Well, if we've already given Toni Storm the title, we've already given Saraya the title, why not have Ruby pin Sheeta next, right?
The outcast trifecta. I don't see it. I don't see it. You?
No, I don't. I don't see it. But hey, I didn't see Sheeta winning a third title reign. So
very true.
We don't know what's happening. So Wardlow defeated Ryan Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler's brother. That happened. Kenny Omega won. Lance Archer back, Greg. Yay. Nope.
Yay.
Okay. And how about Sting? It's got to be him and Darby, right? at Revolution?
Him versus Darby?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Because we haven't
good
seen them
versus.
face off each other, right?
Right, right. But that's the whole teacher, or the
Passing of the
Mr.
torch.
Miyagi and Danielson. I'm
Oh yeah,
passing the torch on to you.
yep. And I'm fine
Um,
with that.
I don't know
Like
if
they
it
don't.
finishes with a match though.
I don't think they need to, go heel or face. You just, Darby just wants it. So, and Juice Robinson defeated Max Caster to get the Battle Royale, the Diamond Ring, or win the Diamond Ring Battle Royale thing. So, yeah, Juice Robinson's a thing, Greg.
Oh yeah, it's. I see where they're going with it, and they've at least done for the most part, a good job of.
He needs to talk to his wife about, character development, doesn't
Right. Um, Juice is interesting for sure.
he?
I went from caring nothing about him or knowing nothing about him to at least being interested in him, so I'll give him
Yeah,
credit for that.
that's good. Yeah,
Um,
I still just don't see anything with him.
right, right. It's slow build with him, but they've done a good job of putting Juice over, and I like the left hand of what do you call it, left hand of God against the right hand of the devil. Um, as far as this ring business goes, he's very interesting on the mic. So I'm
Does he get
curious when
that
he's got
ring?
the microphone in his hand.
Is he finally the one to defeat MJF for the ring? Do you think?
For story purposes, I'll say yeah.
Yeah, I'm
The
okay with that.
with the shenanigans going on and them just taking his belt, taking his ring, and
Hmm.
now it's all going to come down to winning that title match.
Yeah,
So I like it, and it's time somebody else not named MJF won the ring.
yeah,
There's really been no significance to the ring
yeah.
aside from
Other
him
than
using it
using
to
it,
compete. Right.
I guess that's pretty significant.
True, true, but there's nothing else that is
No, yeah,
tied to
you're
it.
right.
If you
Yeah,
get it, you win a title match, or if you
exactly.
have it, you're number one contender, or something. There's no
Yeah,
other
that's true.
stakes that go with it. You just get to walk around with a ring in your hand. So what? Um,
You're right. Yep.
but it's time for somebody other than Max to have it. So why not Juice and
Mhm.
elevate somebody else?
Yeah, especially if
Jay
you already
White's
have
already there, but
Jay White playing up like actually having something really one off him. So.
yeah,
Another Colts update. It is 14-14. I guess
and just like that.
maybe not take the over, or maybe you should have taken the over in points because it's there's not a lot of defense happening. It sounds like.
Yeah, defense sounds optional.
How about Mystico, aka Sin Cara, picking up a win over Rocky Romero, Greg, at Rampage. That's
Now, the Rampage was the one show I didn't see.
it's okay.
Uh,
I
was
didn't
it
even
was
realize
it
that
that
this was
good?
a best out of two, or this was like 2 out of 3 falls type. So Mystico and Romero were tied, and then Mystico tapped him out. John Silver picked up a win against Brother Zay. We were Yuta and Claudio picked up a win, Greg. And Ruby Soho picked up a win after Saraya interfered. So that's why Ruby Soho is the next in line for Sheeta. So um, should we call Collision the House of Black show? Because that's pretty much
Absolutely, this one for
this
sure.
is a good way to reestablish them. And we kept saying, Greg, oh man, they haven't been on TV, so AEW is listening to us on that. And now, if you
Yep.
need to listen to us for your women's division, maybe we need to make more talks about that. But lots of House of Black action, Greg, and Sky Blue still showing. Now that like the House of Black is at full, now I think you got to pull the card on Sky Blue joining that, right?
Yeah. Well, the only thing is with is obviously Julia went down the same path, and
Or do you want
you know
Julia just
the
kind of
black around the eyes.
offshoring her own house?
There's no women's tag team champions, so I don't see the purpose of having
That's my
multiple
downfall
women
too.
in the House of Black. House of Black.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my only thing about it. If there were women's tag team champions or titles, it would make sense. But
Yeah,
why do you need two
yeah.
women? And then Willow got the miss too, and
That's what
you
I'm
can
starting to
see
wonder.
the little sprinkle of black under her eye, and her character is taking a little downturn too. So maybe that's it. Maybe Julia's having her own is going to lead her own brigade of women.
Yeah.
Um, Otherwise, why would you have multiple women in the House of Black? So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with it because they're all following that same theme. If
Because
you get
you
Mystics
don't play that
return,
up if there's not some reasoning behind it. I
right? But I like seeing Sky Blue's character change week to week, and you know the hair is going from being highlighter blue to
think.
getting darker and darker and less blue. So um,
It should be interesting what they could do with Willow because she's got fruit. She's got a nice head of hair, Greg. So maybe you start slicking it back or something. You know, because I don't know how you, other than the old Clippers, which
yeah,
I don't know if I want to go. I don't know how she'd look. Shape. So I think that'd be interesting to see. So, what about the dream match, Greg, of Bryan Danielson and I can't even say it seriously that I can't. I wanted to bring this up with Tony Khan, like owners tweeting out stuff and all this, Greg, but Tony Khan's kind of gone off the deep end with his tweeting at times. But he called this a dream match of Bryan Danielson versus Andrade. Now, Malachi Black and Bryan Danielson, give me that all day. Like, I do want to see that.
agreed.
So, any thoughts on Bryan Danielson and Andrade?
It was a good match, um, solid, and it told a good story. I liked the way it went,
Yeah.
but I think it's in the end getting to um, Malachi and serving himself as the next man up, and you know now Danielson's doing this final year of getting all of his wish list matches done. So figured this probably is the next man up.
Yeah.
Um, so I love the thought of it and the thought behind it.
Do you think
And
Danielson gets a title before slowing down, Greg?
mm, yes,
Okay. Maybe the
I could
TNT
see him
title.
taking. I could see him taking the maybe the title off of maybe not beating Orange Cassidy for it, but whoever
Oh,
beats
maybe the
Orange Cassidy,
international.
him
Yeah.
beating that guy.
Okay. Yeah.
I can see him having the international title.
Okay.
World title, no. Tag team titles, possibly. Um,
I wouldn't mind seeing him with the TNT title run, but I guess
that's true too. That's a possibility.
we shall see.
But I think he could end up with one more championship. I mean, the TNT title's beating Christian, so
Yeah.
that's
That's
definitely
right.
doable.
Jeff Jarrett pinned Eddie Kingston so that Jay Lethal could get a title shot, Greg. Yeah. That happened.
Okay.
Miro won. When it all comes down to it, Greg, I feel like they're just going to get CJ Perry and Miro back together, aren't
Yeah, of course they are.
they?
So there's no intrigue to this whole story to me at all because
Yeah.
while they're having a match, she's smiling while he's on the offense, and
Yeah.
when Andretti's on the offense, she's just standing there stone faced. So you figure she'd be happier about her new client
Yeah.
uh, being up on the husband, but there's no sense of having a poker face
And
with
she's
that.
probably
So
better as a heel manager, so yeah. But
yeah,
then FTR and the two local guys never happened because House of Black showed up there, Greg. So nice to see FTR back on TV. Should we be kind of celebrating the end of their run, do you think, Greg? As full-time wrestlers?
Mm, I don't know. They still hang out. Pretty much all their matches are end up being, if not in that classics category, getting close to it.
Yeah.
So I'm bummed for it from that aspect. But if time's catching up with them and they're slowing down, and they're recognizing it and being aware of it, as opposed to some other, people. I'm
Bing?
stand by them.
Yeah. So. And then finally, Ricky Starks and Big Bill defeated Willer Yuta and Claudio. But once again, the House of Black showed up, Greg. So it was a good time, a good evening for House of Black. So CM Punk leaves, and now we might have House of Black carrying the flag of Collision, right?
Hey, I'm happy. I'm here for it. I love House of Black, and they've been gone way too long, in my opinion. So
Yeah, I don't know what the. I wonder what if they just needed time away or what.
well, said Brody has that broken wrist with the cast on it.
Yeah.
So maybe they needed time for him to heal up well enough to
Mm-hmm.
get back in the ring, and now the cast is just another
He had
tool
been
for him
back
to
on
use.
TV with Julia before them, so that's I think was interesting.
Yeah, but I don't think
Remember?
in a wrestling capacity, just as
No, of course not. No. But
so maybe it was that, but I'm thrilled they're back because they are easily probably the most exciting thing on Collision.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, put them in everything and watch those views add up. But
Any last call for the good of the matter? Your Chargers are playing who again tonight? Or today, sorry.
Kansas City.
Oh, that's right, the Chiefs.
In Arrowhead, and I'm calling it. We're going to win. It is going to happen, and we're better when you don't see it coming. And I don't think anybody's giving us a shot at winning this game, and I think it is going down, and we're going to upset the Chiefs in Arrowhead. We should have beat the Cowboys last week. They were within, it was 17-17 with 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, and things went downhill from there. But they had the Cowboys on the ropes, and they should have got it, but they didn't get it there. We're going to get it here
because you're 2-3 in the division, or 2-3 overall, right? It's looking like
exactly, yeah.
5-1, so yeah.
So need it from a evening up the win-loss record, and need it for the sake of it'll be 2 wins in the division.
Yeah,
that they'll have, and they'll still be undefeated in the division with wins over the Raiders and today the Chiefs. So it's definitely a needed win, but I think this may be a game where they blow up, and Kansas City has been winning, but they haven't been looking good in the process. So you're going to need to put touchdowns on the board if you're going to beat us. So
probably the surprise right now is Ravens are up 28-0 on the Lions. Wow.
Well, okay. Did not see that coming. Yeah.
Lions might be coming back to earth after that. So.
Also, give a shout out to that Kenny Omega and Kyle Fletcher match.
Yeah, sorry, I did kind of overshoot that, so sorry about that.
Very, very impressed with that match. It was awesome, and maybe you stand up and take notice of Kyle Fletcher.
Oh yeah,
because that guy's, he's got something. They're playing with the whole Don Callis family, possibility with him. But kids show he's got something. So I'd rather see him as a singles than Aussie Open as a tag team. But so we'll see where that goes. But props to them for having a banger of a match with Fletcher and Omega. And I saw a blurb that said Mercedes Moné is already signed and getting paid by AEW right now. So it's only a matter of time before we see her appear on screen. So maybe she's got something that's healing, or they picked a certain time, or
I know the ankle was that's where she got injured. So
right. So maybe it's taking a while for that ankle
Full Gear isn't
get
in
right.
LA, so I guess if you're gonna have her show up, Greg, that's the perfect time, right? Los Angeles.
Exactly. Yep.
So, maybe she's the one that takes out Sheeta. So, other than that, we'll enjoy the day. It's a nice fall day here in Indy. About 56 right now, and up to 60. So perfect weather, and it's just been a nice seasonal change. So enjoy the week. We'll get some Halloween Havoc action happening this week and next week, Greg, for NXT. So that'll be kind of fun to see Shotzi and Scarlett, kind of see what they could do with the 2 weeks, especially for Scarlett, because we just haven't really seen her do anything on TV. So I think this is a good way to kind of get her name out there. So, and like we said, the Carmelo and Dragunov final match probably next week, because that'll be Halloween, to kind of let that play out. So, and then Carmelo's off and running on the main roster. That's gonna be really fun to see what he can do in Braun. We haven't seen Braun on TV, I believe, this week or whatever. So we'll see him show up somewhere soon. So other than that,
well, my prediction, real quick, I'll give you my prediction on that, is that the reason Lashley has not branded himself and the Street Profits is because they've been waiting for Carmelo to make his exit.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Carmelo is going to land, wearing a suit with the Profits and Lashley, and we're going to have the Hurt Business 2.0. So that's my fearless prediction after Halloween Havoc, is that we will soon see Carmelo inserted into the Lashley Street Profits faction.
Oh, and we do have some defense in the Colts game real quick. So now it says Matt Gay attempted a 60-yard field goal. And who do you think it was blocked by? None other than Myles Garrett. So
Myles Garrett, of course.
There was a recovery that took them to the Colts 26. So we might have another score here soon, Greg.
So, all right, I'm going Colts for you, man.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy though.
Who's getting the rushing? Is it is Moss still getting the carries, or is it
Taylor's I think getting a little bit more? Minshew was the one who scored on a rushing touchdown though, Greg. So there you go.
Because that helps. Oh yeah, no one.
Yeah, helps himself.
Unless we're stupid enough to start Gardner Minshew in your fantasy team.
So that's crazy, especially going for. I guess it's funny to think you're going for a 60-yard field goal. So you're probably about the half, 40-ish. But yeah. So anyways, well, the D stepped up for the Colts, and now it's field goal by the Browns, and now it's 17-14 Browns. So they couldn't punch it in. So there we go. Maybe defense here and there. Bend but don't break, as they say.
Right.
Well, I guess I might have to tune into this. This Colts game sounds entertaining more than I thought, Greg. So I might have to tune into it. But we shall leave you be. Enjoy the day and enjoy the week. Have a good one.
All right. Take it easy. Peace.